Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got some champion rebalances. Again, we've got two legendary champions in the mix, both of which very much need a rebalance. So cool to see Raid continue this. I know a few people have been asking for it. We would love to see the odd epic thrown in there as well. Maybe even mythical already. What are you saying? Are the mythicals that you've managed to pick up, if you've got any, doing the do? So anyway, let's get into what's been changed. I guess before we do that, there's been another announcement as well, which is just like a bunch of stuff I think related to the fusion. So it says here Thursday, which is tomorrow when the fusion is set to go live, we're planning to launch a 2x event for speed items from Dragon. This is probably the only time I farm Dragon anymore, even if I do, honestly. And I know there's a lot of people that once they get past mid-game, they don't farm dungeons much at all anymore. But if you're a newer player, then farming Dragon early when there's a 2x speed event is pretty damn good. We've got a spider event dropping for demon spawn accessories. Obviously, the fusion is demon spawn, which is why they're doing that. So that's on Sunday. And then we've got on the 8th, next Thursday, regen set dropping from Fire Knight, which is one of the best sets and probably the main reason now that most people go into Fire Knight. Regen and Savage and Stun are all the kind of like three best sets in here. Regen definitely being the way to do like solo farming or keeping people alive in faction wars and some of the sets you might use in places like City. So Regen set is a really, really great set. And then we've got on the next Sunday from Ice Golem, Provoke set dropping, which is generally used for a champion to try and enhance the chance to provoke the head of Decay in Hydra. So all pretty decent sets, honestly. And yeah, I guess that's just when it's going to kind of like drop in line with the fusion stuff. So let's get into the champions then that are being changed. And the first one, I don't think I own her. No, Lady of Erith. So Lady of Erith, the Irish looking wee lassie. The Irish, no, that was Scottish. I can't do accents. So she's already got good stats, right? All of her stats are solid. What's going on here? Activates a continuous heal on all allies. So you're getting a chunky heal. Full cleanse from a target, then a heal. Can be a crit, so it could be a massive apothecary style heal. If the target ally is not fully healed, puts block damage on them as well. This is good, but it's single target, and she's legendary. And then we've got strengthen and continuous heal. And then a passive here places a shield buff equal to 15% of this champion's max HP on the ally with the lowest HP at the start of this champion's turn. Her kit's all right, to be fair. It's just, yeah, I think there's just so many great supports out there now that maybe she just gets a bit lost. Certainly wasn't one of the champions that I'd be like, she needs the change, you know, she's the one. But anyway, obviously Raid are looking at it and seeing that she's not played much, so here we go. Right. With the following changes, our main goal was to enhance her supporting role. After this rebalance, you'll find Lady of Erith's kit more impactful with significantly improved healing capabilities. So her A2 now scales off her own HP rather than the allies' max HP. That's actually massive because she's going to have a high HP pool and you're building her to do this job. So it's quite a big change, actually. Heal can still be a crit. Additionally, if the target ally is fully healed, she will not only increase their turn meter. Oh, okay, so I didn't read that part earlier. If the ally is fully healed, they get a turn meter fill by 50%, right? So she will not only increase their turn meter, but also heal all allies for 50% of the surplus heal. So it pretty much becomes at that point a team heal, especially if she crits with it, allowing you to keep your entire team at full HP more consistently. It's quite a massive change, actually. Good turn meter fill for one person and a full team heal. I'm wondering, you know where people use Shuzen, I think it is, to boost Trunda to just keep having turns. I'm wondering if this is another example of where that could be used. Does she give enough? She probably doesn't do enough, honestly, but to get someone to keep taking their turns more often is quite an interesting thought, actually. Okay, so, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It then says here, to help allies cycle through their skills more frequently, her A3, which currently is to strengthen and heal. Her A3 will now reduce the cooldown of all ally skills by a turn as well. Wow. Okay. Game changer. On a 3-turn? On a 3-turn. If that stays as a 3-turn, this is a massive change. Should be like Painkeeper on something, if that's what's going down. Because, oh damn, but with this as well, exactly what I just said about the Trunder teams, I think she gets in them. I think she gets in them with that. Wow. Okay, that's a massive change. Yeah, that's absolutely humongous, honestly. Okay, Lady of Erith suddenly is in the game. I think that's a massive change. Right, let's talk about the second one. I think this might be the second time he's been attempted to be buffed. Wow, I can't even remember where the hell this guy is. Is he here? Do I hit it first time? I do, Noble. Of course he is. So Noble, for those who don't know, is the champion that empowers Ninja. Okay, and Ninja, obviously, everyone has either got Ninja or they just recently got Ninja. I would say, I've only just noticed, look how thin his arm is. It's weird. I would say Noble is likely to be the most used legendary to empower someone else, you know, to just be wasted to empower someone else. I bet not many people sit on a Noble. Do I even own him? I think I own him, yeah. Okay, so we're enhancing Noble's kit to expand his role beyond just a damage dealer. Let's just see what he's doing already. Attacks an enemy, 40% chance to decrease the duration of 2 random buffs. If they're under a fear, this is the trouble. It's all like if they're under a fear, there's just not enough champions in the game to really make this stuff happen. Bit like Fortis, really. 65% chance to decrease the duration of all the target's buffs. Attacks an enemy, ignore 30% defense. This is where his damage comes in. Fills his turn meter after the attack. And if they're under a fear or true fear, decreases the cooldown of dismay, which is this one. AoE hits, 100% chance of decreasing each enemy's turn meter by 50%. And if they're under fear or true fear, will also fill this champion's turn meter by the amount the enemies lose. All of it sounds pretty cool, honestly. Whenever an enemy's turn meter is fully depleted by a champion, 75% chance of placing true fear. So the problem with this guy, bosses can't be feared, so instantly loses all value in PvE content unless it's a wave of enemies. Okay, that's his biggest problem. Same problem with anyone whose kit is focused on straight like one control mechanic, like fears, true fears, stuns, freezes. All of those champions, they struggle because they just don't have value in boss fights, which means they're basically PvP champions. So if they're not top tier, they're not in the meta. They're just not in the game, right? And this is the problem. So we're enhancing Noble's kit to expand his role beyond just damage dealer, making him more versatile as a control champion. The changes will make him, will grant him greater control over his enemies with his fear ability, the ability to buff himself, turn meter manipulations, and a tricky passive that can unexpectedly disrupt the enemy's composition. Right. So his A1 will now decrease the duration of all enemies' buffs with a 100% chance if the target is under fear or true fear. So rather than just a target, it's doing it against all enemies now. It's actually pretty significant, but still by 1 turn. That's big for an A1, honestly. Noble's A2 will not only smack harder, but also grant him increased attack if the target's under fear or true fear. Let me just read how they're doing that, because you want it before he attacks. Attacks an enemy, will ignore 30% of the target's defense, same as this. Before attacking, if they're under fear or true fear, gives him increased attack. Okay. Okay. After attacking, if the target's under fear or true fear, decreases the cooldown of dismay and gives him a 25% turn meter feel. So you still need the fear or true fear on the enemy, and it's still going to be challenging to make that happen. There's just not that many champions that do it as like a AoE true fear ability. There's not many. So he's so reliant on like Mashaled and 1 or 2 others to make any of this stuff happen. It is significant though, because giving him a self buff now makes him viable in live arena potentially. But I think he's quite squishy. I just think he's hard to keep alive versus a lot of the other damage dealers that have got something going on. Plus he needs a setup champion. Plus polymorph's still a thing. So, you know, true fear and fear is harder to work with. That There's just a number of things which stand in his way, honestly. Okay, so his A3 now steals 50% target turn meter unconditionally. Additionally, if he manages to kill the target, the cooldown of his A2 will be reduced by a turn as well. So again, I just want to read how they've actually done that. So A3 attacks all enemies now. 75% chance of stealing 50% of the target's turn meter. So it will book to 100% chance of stealing turn meter, which basically means, by the way, he will have another go. He will just go again. Because if you're hitting 4 enemies and you're stealing their turn meter, the chances are he's just going again. It's quite big. It's a bit like Armand's in a reverse fashion. So it's pretty big. If this attack kills a target under fear or true fear, decreases cooldown of this. Yeah, okay. So last one then is his passive, Desolation. What are they doing here? We tweak his passive to become much more dangerous when Noble is paired with another turn meter control champ. Now he will place a fear on an enemy with a 20% chance if their turn meter is reduced or any active turn meter reduction. So if you're pairing with Lady Kimmy, Shuzen, or other champions with AoE turn meter reduction effects, like Armand's, I guess, you can set up some pretty nasty opportunities for nukers like Fortus. It's interesting, but it does mean now you're already dictating 3 of the team members, okay? So you only get teams of 4 in the arena raid. So it's hard to make it happen. But if you've got Armand, I think Armand's is particularly going to be interesting here. So if Armand's does the big turn meter thing, I guess he's stunning them anyway. Do you even need the fear? You don't really need the fear. But he's stunning them anyway. I guess if they get fear as well, that's when you start to enhance all of his stuff. Could end up just being like full lockout forever. Okay, I mean, Lady of Aerith, I think, wow, becomes like a massive meta champion. Noble, I guess, still very conditional, but way better. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.